guys. Okay, so I've got all 4 of these covered, and these were 12 by 12 sheets. So I am going to do, this is the We Are Memories Keeper, the deco and stub. This is the stub side. So I'm going to do all of them that way. And these were the cutoffs for the what I did the walls on. And so I am going to actually utilize the white part. So I laid these down to give myself a good, ½ inch all the way around. Basically, I'm cutting these in half. So I'm going to cut all of them at once, and I will then have all 8 to do with this. So let me go ahead and get that cut. All right. So not much unused yet. Not much unused yet. Let me get these together better. There we go. It is a beautiful day today. We had a freeze warning 2 nights ago and a frost warning last night, or something to that effect. Okay, so now I have enough to do all 8. Some are a little, I didn't get it quite in half, but that's going to be fine. Okay, so I'm going to just put some glue on here. Okay. Oh, nope. I'll let that dry. I want the white out, not the blue. All right. So there we go. So a little bit different with these. The bottom we cut just like we would anything else. Just do our little V shapes out. And then up here, I'm thinking I'm going to do a V shape going in and then back out again. So just below the bottom edge of the stub mark, I'm going to come in and I'm going to stay about 1/8 of an inch away, and then I'm going to just come back in and make a triangle like that. And then I'm going to make fold lines or cut lines . Okay, so we'll see how this works. Let's go ahead and do the one long side. Well, actually get some glue on there would be good. And this is one of my smaller ones, so... Oh, I am so not used to all this. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. Let me clean up my mess. Okay. Quite the mess I had. Let's see if I can do a little bit better on this side. Not as good a glue control as I'm used to with the other, but it's all good. Okay. So far, not much difference. And I'm still flattening the end. Just be careful up here. We don't want to tear off any of these papers. So now I am going to glue in the hole, along the stub cut, and then a little bit onto, so I've got inside the stub and then right in there. And then we're just going to bring these papers one at a time. Oh, let's get our little folded edge, just like we do anything else, and then bring these papers over very gently. If yours is like mine, they are, you know, thin paper. Looks like I'm probably going to need another one. And then you can get your bone folder in there and get that nice little crease that you're looking for. Let's do this one. So a little bit of glue in that stub area and then beyond for the paper to stick to. Let's bend over. And I'm just going to pull that piece down. Okay, that one was a little long. Okay. And then get your bone folder in there. Okay, so now basically this last little bit, you're going to do it just like you would anything else. We're going to put a little bit of glue at the edge. I'm going to bring around the little piece. Oh, that broke off. I'm going to bring around the little piece that is still dangling. Try and wrap that around the edge. And then let's put a little bit of glue underneath here. Good Lord, I end up with so much glue. And then just bring it down around. And that should give you a fairly nice spire looking jobby. And let's flatten all the edges while the glue is still wet, and get all that stuff down, and then we just have the bottom to do. Get our little sides tucked in, a little bit of glue, tuck and fold, tuck and fold. Okay. All right. So once you get that done, get all of your edges going nicely. Now we can cover this with paper. Now you can choose the same stuff. You can make bricks. If you have paper that looks like metal or wood or painted walls or anything, you can totally use that. So now obviously none of these is going to cover completely, and I do want to fold it over. And since I've got 8 of them, I thought I would do, let's see, I could do probably all 8 with the same bottom and top. This one I'm going to use, I'm going to actually put 2 of these together and have it look like, you know, they've opened a hole in the metal and have somebody coming out of it, stick their head out of it. I thought that would look really cute. So these aren't for the actual spires, but they are for what I want to work on. So I don't know if I want to do maybe this up on top and this on the bottom. I don't know. I think I will do this and this. And I think between the 3 of them I'll have enough to do 8, and then they'll all be the same. And then these can get put off to the side for later on. Okay, so I'll go over how I'm doing these. And let's see, if I have 8 of them and I only have 3 of these, I can get 2, 4, 6. So no, I'm going to have, I get 6, and then I have 2 more, which could be maybe special for the front. Let's see, special for the front. Maybe I'll put this on top, so I only need 1. So I'll put this on the top of the front one, and that on the bottom. Okay, so there we go. So the top, the front 2, that's actually going to be the opening for the getting into the park, will be different than the other 6. So I'm just going to cut these in 3-inch increments. I probably can do all 3 at one time with this wonderful cutter of mine. It is pretty thick paper. That was some work, but I'm going to do it again. All right. And one of them I'm going to have to cut down, and the other one I'm not. So let's just, I'm going to waste about a 1/2 inch. There we go. And I'm paying attention to what I'm actually going to have. I don't care about what's hanging over what edge. Oops. Shoot. I am making such a mess that in the area I just cleaned up. Okay, so I like the double buttons with this piece all the way down. And it looks like I am fairly centered. Okay. Same as before. Do your V's. And let's help it around. This takes a little longer to dry, so I think I can get both sides done. It would help if I actually put glue on the end of the paper, don't you think? Okay. Same here. Put your corners, some good glue in your corners here. Go ahead and run the rest of the glue. And let's roll this around and push anything that might not be flat down. Roll this around. Okay. I am making quite the mess with the glue. And let's get a nice edge and push those corners down really well. Okay, and then we're going to do this. And you can butt it up or place it over, however you want to do it. I kind of like having that feed right into this. So let's go ahead. Oopsie. Well, let's go ahead and glue ourselves on. And get this exactly where we want it. I think I flipped it over, but it doesn't really matter. And I just butted them up against each other. So no problem there. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go ahead and leave myself a little bit of extra room so that I'll be able to get these little deco pieces done. Let's go ahead and start our fold lines. All right. So we're going to do again what we did before. We're going to kind of come out like this and take a triangle out, leaving yourself 1/8 of an inch away. Okay, and then we're going to cut right, and you want to cut right down to where the deco cut is. So your cut line should go all the way. And you want to stay away from this center edge about 1/8 of an inch so that you have something to fold over that. All right, so all right. And actually they don't need to be this long, so let's go ahead because I already have quite a bit of bulk. Go ahead and cut those. get that extra bulk off of there. And I can cut this down as well a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to put some glue down. Let's get these sides going. Okay. Okay, and then get some glue here and in that curve line. And we can go ahead and push this down and get it into that curve line. We want to try and get that as covered as we can. Give this a little bit of glue up here to hold on to. I didn't put any glue up there. Oh, my hands are so sticky. And then let's stick your knife, your bone folder in there and work on that, getting, see, that's a little bit of work. If you don't want to do that, then, you know, just leave it and don't have it. But I think it makes it, you know, a little bit more realistic. But it is going to be a little more time consuming as well. Let me go ahead and get a little bit of glue. Now this piece I am going to cut just the little points off so I don't have them hanging down where I don't want things. And I'm going to come from underneath and fold over the edge of the paper. Come from underneath and right at the edge of the chipboard, you're going to fold your edge over. So now that's what you have. Okay. And then we're just going to make sure those stay down and fold over. So it's a little messy on the top, but I think definitely worth it. And anything that's kind of needing, just push on it, especially when that glue is still damp. And there we go. Pretty cool, huh? Let's see. There. Good looking. Okay, so as you can see, these are going to be on the ends. Oh, yeah, it goes this way. I'm like, why did I make them the same height? These go on the ends, so they'll be just like this. Super cool. I may end up putting holes in these and running some wire across. I have not made up my mind on that yet, but it's going to be cute. And if you're making a castle, you could poke holes and draw on string and put little cute little banners on there, you know. Oh, yes. You are only limited by your imagination. All right, guys. So you've seen me do one of these. Gets a little messy on the back, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these out. I'm using just the leftovers of this paper and my pages here, and then these are going to be the 2 front ones. So pull your stuff together, get them covered up, and then come back to me. I will be just a second. Bye. Hey guys, so I just wanted to come on. I've covered all of mine. Don't they look cool? Oh gosh, I love this. So these are for around the sides and the back of my park, and this one are going to be in the front. Now I cut some of this off so I could get some of this crazy looking stuff on the top of the spire. So I'm just going to do that again. I'm putting those in my little keep file, my little keep bucket. And what I've been doing is kind of leaving a 1/2 inch at the bottom. I just thought I'd come on and show you how I was doing one of these. And then I just put the glue where I want it. And I tell you, I am so glad that I only have that much of the Scotch Quick Dry left, because the hand over heels, the art glitter glue is so much better. I mean, it just dries faster. Some of these things are still damp, and it's just like, holy Hannah. But I put 2 layers on. I put the white, I put the backing, you know, because it's white on the back. So I did a layer of that on these first, but I'm doing exactly the same, other than that was a whole layer. You do not have to do that. It was just to add a little bit more sturdiness. Not much, because it wasn't really thick paper, but anyway. So we've got that on, and then we come down here just like we were doing with our, you know, when we cover up a book up, take our corners off. I'm so glad this is my last one. Okay. I'm going to go with the art glitter glue because the other just takes too long. And then I'm just going to put some right along the sides here. And flip it over. Make sure you're getting it nice and tight pulled around your chipboard. And do the little edge. And then we're going to do the same on this side. See, look, that doesn't even catch it dry right there. It's just like very, very irritating. I'm going to make sure I'm going to pull this tight. If you feel a little bit of looseness, you'll want to, you know, double check that you're pulling it over well enough. There we go. Get the little edge. And then we're going to put a little bit in the corner and pull this around. I have gotten so much glue on this glass top, and I just cleaned it. Okay, and then get a little bit of glue on the piece that you just folded over. Okay. So there's the bottom part. This is the part up here. I'm sure everybody's going, but what do you do there? Well, believe me, it took me a couple of times of handling different stuff. Now that, no, it's on there. I don't know. I am so over the Scotch Quick Dry. It's not even funny. I thought, it's still a good glue, and it is a good glue, especially if you, there's sometimes you want a glue that doesn't dry as fast as this stuff, because you need to be able to fiddle with it a little bit once you lay it down. So I'm glad in that aspect that I have it. Just make sure that once you put that down and you're burnishing it, that you don't move it away from your edge there. Okay, so now how I am cutting this. I am cutting just, a 32nd of an inch away from the edge, the corner. See how I'm just a little bit away from that. And then I'm going to cut straight into it all the way to the end. And then we're going to cut this off a little bit. And we're going to cut this until it's kind of straight with this top one. And then cut to the corner. So now I've made myself two little triangles. I'm going to trim this triangle off just a little bit. Okay, so that's what you're going to end up with right now. And then I'm going to just, well, I think I was coming at an angle. Some of this can be cut off. Okay, so just a tiny bit in above the corner here, then come straight in like that, and then this one we're going to come just a tiny bit to the inside of here, and then we're going to cut some of this off and cut some of this one off. All right. And it seems to me, yeah, okay. So you want to make sure that those two, yeah, this has to be cut off. Okay. You have to make sure that these two are cut all the way to the inside of your curve. If you're doing this, it's time consuming. Wrong thing. Now I'm going to do the two sides first, and I do have that little 32nd of an inch, or 1/16 of an inch hanging over the edge of these two pieces, and that's going to help cover it. So let me go ahead and get this part down. And you do want to make sure that, at least in the curve, that you are getting that chipboard covered, because you don't want to see it. Oh, this is just so much better to work with. And with the big spout, I kept getting way too much glue, which is another reason these aren't drying very well. And they almost feel like they're soft. So this one is nice and stiff. I'm not having a problem, but some of these that I've done when I was working with them, they were just like they're hardening back up again because they're drying, but it was just horrible. Just horrible. And we are going to have to do something on the backs of these. And I have, that's too small. So I have these two. And then for these, I've got probably enough to do them. But let's see how much of it is going to be standing up. Oh yeah, there'll be plenty. There'll be plenty. Now this one will only do one. So I guess I'll pull this one back out and get the folds out of it. And then I should have enough. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to put right in the corner where the paper that we just folded, and I'm just going to bend that over. Make sure it's all laying down nice and flat, just in that little groove. And then we're going to put glue on these two little pieces. And you're going to just fold them over. And if anything sticks, you know, is in the way of something else, just trim it off. If you fold it over and it hangs over the edge, just trim it off. Okay. I am going to cut this little piece off here. And then I take this and I want to do it kind of like a present. Okay. I didn't quite leave enough to cover the corners very well, but it is doing it. Yeah, it caught the edges. So now we're just going to put a little glue on that, and we're going to flip it over. So it gets a little thick at the top. All right, now let's see. Is this, if I put that just like that and cut those little pieces off. So let me just get my pencil, and I'm just going to cut just beyond where those are and glue this down. Whoops. Just to cover all of the just to cover all the messiness. All right. There we go. Okay, let's do the same thing with this one. I'm going to stick this all the way up to the top. And I actually need to cut this down just a smidge. Let me get my... It's just a bit too wide. Let's see. How's that going to be? No, just a titch more. So it's about 1.5 inches. Yeah, this is about 1.5 inches. So you want to go a little less than 1.5 inches. So maybe 1 3/8 inches. Let me get a little bit of glue underneath there. Okay, now I'm going to put this, line this up with the very top and center it down the center. And maybe this way I'll get a better, and then I'm pushing the pencil underneath a little bit. And then when I'm cutting, I'm actually cutting outside of the pencil lines as well. Okay. So there we go. Get most of that white covered up. Just a teeny bit shows, but you know there's white in that paper, so I think we're going to be just fine. And it's not going to look out of place at all. So whatever you have that works. I had thought about having 2 spires, a front and a back one, and attach them. Would make the book a little bit more sturdy. So you could do that, and if you wanted to do that, then you'd need 16 of these. I just did 8, and I'm done. And I don't know if I'm going to actually have enough to do let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I was going to say I should have 6 of them. So I'm going to cut these all at 1 3/8. Let's see, 1 3/8. There's 3. 4. 5. 6. All right. So these are going to go into my little box. And I think I'm just going to let's get one that's just a little smaller. See if I can, yeah, there we go, that's better. So that's easy. That's easy enough. You're just trying to cover the mess in the back. Just cover that mess in the back. And with my paper, the pattern on it makes everything very forgiving. There we go. And this one should be just fine for here. And you don't have to worry about down here because that's going to be on the chipboard. You know, that's going to be hiding that, so no worries there. All right. And just burnish that down really well. There we go. I'm just going to take a little bit off of these. little. Alrighty. And that'll hide all that. One thing I didn't show you that I've done on all of them, so I will, come on, for heaven's sakes, I've been bragging on you, now all of a sudden you're not taken. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So, like, I've been taking my bone folder while the glue was still dry and pushed, not super gentle either, but pushed it up in there and along the top to make my nice edges. And then, of course, down on each side. So I did also do that. And across the bottom. All right. 3 more. 3 more. Well, that one's going to be easy. See, I kept trying different ways of doing this, and then I think the last way I just showed you is actually the easiest. But you may come up with a better way. And if you do, just try and explain it to us. What you did. What you did. Of course, like I said, if you don't want these, you can definitely decorate your spires and not put this this cut in there, and then you're just going to be covering rectangular pieces of paper. So, you know, wow, way easier. Plus, I wrapped these twice, so it seems like I've been doing this all night. I took them out in by the TV with my husband, and you know, I don't do them the entire time, because if something gets good, I kind of just stare at the TV. I'm one of those. I get lost, and there's nothing exists around me except for the TV. I don't know. Some people, mostly, they say that their husbands are like that, but I am like that. And actually, my father and my brother are like that as well. So, yeah, we just get, and it's not that the program's so, you know, super interesting or anything. It's just that when we're focused on something, such as the TV, we're focused on it. And then my husband will like, are you listening to me? And I'm going, oh, I'm sorry, what? I had no idea he was talking to me. And I do that a lot, so bless his heart. I just keep telling him, stop talking to you when I'm ignoring you. And he says, well, how the hell do I know that, oh, I'm sorry. How the heck do I know that you're ignoring me if you're not talking to me to tell me you're ignoring me? I'm like, what? I said, that didn't really make any sense either, honey. Oh, gosh. They went for a trip. My son and husband went and picked up, they're thinking that my son, beginning of this week coming, is going to get his house. The people that are doing the title search are having problems because there's just places aren't opened. And I guess the place that they need is opening on Monday, so they will get that paperwork in Monday or Tuesday, and then with everybody's plans, you know, getting everybody together for the closing. And I told her, I said, well, we don't have to be at the closing, but it would be good for Michael to go through it his first time. That he's getting his house, so, you know, he might find that very interesting. So, there we go. And now, I didn't measure these real well to, you know, make sure I was getting them the same height, but they are pretty much all at the same height. But remember, they're not going to be right next to each other. And there's not a whole lot of difference from the heights of them. So we will be fine there. All right. Now I am going to clean up a little bit and I'll be right back.